I'll elaborate on the second one in just a minute. But our task force actually goes out there because there are people, if you look, remember that show To Catch a Predator, there were men and women who pose on the internet as young people using avatars, fake personas, to try to woo and develop relationships with other teenagers, and then they use those relationships to try to engage those teenagers in a physical romantic relationship. And a couple of years ago, we had a person from San Diego develop a relationship with a special needs child here in the Midlands, flew from San Diego, moved into the house with that child, and lived in the house for 2 or 3 days, sleeping in the closet. The parents were in the house, did not know what. The mom walks in with the guy in bed with the child. That happens. That happens. We arrested a guy recently who had several million pictures of child porn on his computer, as well as 11,000 videos of children being assaulted, sexually assaulted. People are out there grooming and trying to prey on folks, and we are out there controlling and doing everything we can to intercept them. Another thing is protecting you from yourselves, not maybe you personally, but people like you. A lot of, when I was a kid, if you had a dispute with someone, and I'm sure your parents would agree, you go behind the schoolyard, and what would you do, right? You duke it out. I don't approve of it, you shouldn't do that, but kids used to fight on the playground. That's how they resolve things. Now, they cyberbully. The internet, as wonderful as it is, has become a medium for public resolution to conflict, and sometimes public resolution to conflict gets even worse because when you're not facing someone, it's easier to say horrible things about them than when you're looking at them face to face, right? Well, we are out there trying to protect teens from the cyberbullying. We've had young children, young people, teenagers commit suicide because they felt their entire world collapsed on them. I'll tell you another one, and this is a very serious topic, sexting. And the first cousin of sexting, which is child porn. I'll explain. How many of you in this room have one of these, or something like it? Okay, or it could be a tablet, or you have access to a computer, a digital camera. All right, I was at a high school a couple of years ago, talking to about 200 sophomores. I asked, how many of you have one of these? About 90 to 98 to 95% raised their hand. How many of you are under the age of 18? Everyone in the room raised their hand. I said, how many of you knew that if you were to take a sexually provocative video or photo of yourself or of your boyfriend or girlfriend, even if it's consensual, you just manufactured child porn, which has a minimum of 3 years in prison? I'm looking at some of your eyes right now. They had the same expression. I then said, how many of you knew that if you were to text or email that video or that picture, you just distributed child porn, which has a minimum of 2 years in prison? Their eyes got big. And then last I said, how many of you knew that if you were to store that picture on your phone or your tablet, even if it's of yourself or your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're in possession of child porn, which is 0 to 10 years in prison? And about a dozen heads went down to delete, hitting the delete button on their phone, trying to get those pictures off their phone because they didn't realize they were committing a felony. Now, are we going after people for that? No. But I was trying to educate them that you have to be a responsible citizen of the internet because you can get in trouble if you're not a responsible citizen of the internet. And so I tell you that today is because you guys are growing up in an entirely different world than the one that I grew up in. And you've got to be smart because the bad guys, they're evolving and they're learning new ways to reach out and try to get people. And you've got to be smarter than them and you've got to evolve with it. And I don't say that, moms and dads, to scare you and your kids from being on the internet. I got young children at home. But I do say that you have to be smart, you have to be guarded with how you conduct yourself for a whole host of reasons. Now, I just got the one finger a few seconds ago saying my time to speak is up, and now we can go to Q&A. But during the question and answer period, I would like to talk to you guys, and I picked the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force because it is very germane to your lives, and that is why I wanted to talk to you about it. There are a whole bunch of other issues I'm involved in that I could talk to you about, but I do want to talk to y'all about character development and leadership, but I will reserve that for maybe a question or answer session. So, here we are, question and answer session. All right, I'm going to do side to side, boy, girl, okay? That way, so I saw your hand first, since you're on the front row. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I'm from South Carolina. And my question for you is, as the Attorney General, what is the biggest case that you've had to work on?
Okay, what is the biggest case? Well, we've had a lot of high-profile cases. We deal a lot of public corruption, white-collar crimes. We've done a lot of securities fraud that involve defrauding people of hundreds of millions of dollars. We've dealt in some public corruption cases that involve public servants or people who are in elected positions who use their positions for personal gain. We've also dealt with some high-profile cases involving the state, where a company violates a law and it hurts the consumers of the state. So we sue that company to recover losses and to make people whole again. And last year we had a $124 million lawsuit on a pharmaceutical case that we brought on behalf of the state. So when you talk about big cases, it could be big in the sense of how much money was recovered. It could be big in the public notoriety it received. It can be big based on the facts of the case. Maybe it was just a very scandalous case. So it's hard to pick one case because there's so many that were involved. So I'm going to come to this side of the aisle for a young lady. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Asbury. I'm from Clemson, South Carolina, and I was wondering, what have you found to be the most effective way of fighting cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying. Well, an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. You know who said that? Anyone who said that? Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, do you understand? An ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. Meaning just a little bit on the front end. Education on the front end is so much better than prosecuting or investigating on the back end. I was talking to y'all just now about internet safety, and I didn't get into cyberbullying. I got more into the other stuff. The cyberbullying is a component, and our Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force has a person that all they do is they travel around to schools and civic groups, and they talk to young people about how they should conduct themselves. And we show them videos. We tell them stories of other kids who have suffered from cyberbullying, some who lost their lives to it, others who had their reputations destroyed, and the effect it can have. I want to use your question real quick to talk about character development. I'm going to go fast. Years ago, I heard a speech in which the speaker said, people have a choice in life to be a thermostat or a thermometer. You know the difference between a thermostat and a thermometer? Instead of asking you what it is, I'm going to talk through it because we don't have a lot of time. A thermometer reflects the temperature of a room. If you go over here and you look wherever the thermostat is, or the thermometer, if you look at it, if it's not a thermometer, it'll tell you how warm this room is. A thermostat changes the temperature of the culture of the room, right? The climate of the room. There's a thermostat over there, and I can make this room cold or hot, depending on what I want. In life, when you see something going on in your school or your church or your community that is bad, if you're a thermometer type person, you're simply going to reflect the culture. If the culture is bad, you're never going to be an agent of change. You're just going to reflect badness. If the temperature, if the climate is good and you're a thermometer, you'll reflect probably goodness, but you'll never make it better. A thermostat is a person who actually changes the culture. It has the ability to do you don't need a title, you don't need to be a leader, you just need to have character, integrity, and the courage to stand up and do the right thing. If you see someone being cyberbullied, or if you see someone who is being harmed by that type of activity, you need to speak up. Maybe you need to find an adult, maybe you need to find an authority figure, maybe you need to go and let that person know that they're not alone, that you support them. Maybe you need to go to the person who's doing the cyberbullying and say, man, you're making yourself look bad. There's nothing cool about cyberbullying. When we travel the state, we educate, and we try to let young people know that that stuff isn't cool, and it follows you for the rest of your life. If you're the bully, that stuff is out there, and people can go back and capture it. If you're the one being bullied, it can really affect your grades, and it can have a really bad effect on you, and you need to go get help from an authority figure in your community, whether it's a parent or a teacher. So education, 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 and knowing what to do. So we'll go back to this side, to the back of the room. Yes, sir.
My name is Josh Baxter. I'm from Eastern South Carolina. My question for you was just, you mentioned in the introduction that you were in the National Guard. I was just curious, how has the National Guard shaped your character and made you think?
Leadership. Learning as an officer. Now, I came from a family where my three brothers and I were all Eagle Scouts. We were all officers in the military. My first day as an officer in the Army, I was the youngest guy in my unit. I was a second lieutenant, and I had 40 people that saluted me and called me sir, but they all had more experience than me. They had been around longer than me, yet I'm their boss, right? That's kind of weird, but that's how the Army works when you're an officer. valuable lesson in leadership as a young 22-year-old, that sometimes as the leader of an organization, your job isn't to be the best or the smartest in that organization. Your job is to surround yourself with the best and the smartest and not be threatened by that. Like a coach of a football team isn't the best athlete. His job is to find the best athletes, put them in the right positions, and then empower them to score points. Same thing in an organization. Fast forward 15 years later, 37-year-old attorney general, and everyone in the room is older than me and been lawyers as long as I've been alive, but they're all, not saluting me, but they're calling me General Wilson and saying, what do you want us to do? I surround myself with those people and I listen to them, and that's a function of leadership. Don't surround yourself with people who you think make you look good because they're dumber than you. Surround yourself with people who you think are better than you, and don't be intimidated by that. I'm getting the 1 minute mark, and I want to get, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to get one female from over here and one male from over here. So, yes, ma'am, I saw your hand.
Hi, I'm Hallie Williamson from Dalton, South Carolina. How can we be praying for you in this topic of cyberbullying? How can we pray for you in this topic of cyberbullying?
Wisdom. Give me wisdom. I don't always know the right thing to do, and the people that I'm working with don't always know the right thing to do. But the thing that Solomon asked for was wisdom. Don't want money. Don't want. I want money, but he doesn't want money. But wisdom. Pray for your leaders to have wisdom. Okay. Yes, sir.
What made you pick your job?
I love the law and I love the challenges of leadership. I saw your. Did you raise your hand a minute ago, or someone over here, another female?
I did.
You did. Yes, ma'am.
But my question was
Same. Okay, I'm going quick over here. Yes. Who haven't I called on over here? Okay, I saw your hand first. Go ahead.
My name is Luke Sizemore. I'm from Angel, South Carolina. My question was, in your speech, you said there was an attorney general before there was actually a country.
Yeah.
So why was that? Why did they need one, or why was that position a thing?
Well, they needed a chief law enforcement person in this province. The King of England gave Nicholas Trott, he was commissioned in 1698. If you come to my office, I can show you the commission, a copy of the commission from 300 years ago, saying that you're going to be the chief magistrate in this province in the New World.
Okay.
And it was just to help enforce the laws of the common law that the King of England wanted to implement. Yes, sir. I'm going quick. I know I'm going a minute over, but. What are my other jobs? Well, I'm in the National Guard. I'm a colonel in the National Guard, so I help manage the military lawyers in the state of the National Guard. Most importantly, I'm a dad of a 7-year-old daughter, and my son turned 9 years old today.
Aww.
It's a dad and a husband. Those are and I tell people all the time, being attorney general and being a military officer is what I do. Being a father and a husband is who I am. And don't ever let your title define who you are. People who do that become arrogant. And remember that you can cancel one thing at a time. I take the trash out every day just like everyone else's parents does, just like you. So, over here real quick. Don't come over this far again because you're on the lead. Yeah. Favorite part of my job? Doing stuff like this. Yes, sir.
My name is Samuel. I'm from South Carolina. I know this is a yes or no question, but are you related to Representative Joe Wilson?
That's my father. Yeah, he represents Congress here in the 2nd District. Yeah, he's my dad. Okay, I feel like I'm getting the hook, and I want to answer all your questions. Tell me what to do.
All right, we have time for one more question.
One more question. Okay, who has like a different question? I'll tell you what. We don't want to pick. Tommy Lynn, pick for me.
How about the one on my right here?
In the green?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
From South Carolina, and I'm wondering, how do you detect predators online?
How would detect predators online? We have forensic investigators and the task force partners around the state. They actually are online posing as children. So you may be talking to somebody who thinks a 13-year-old girl or boy might be a 38-year-old police officer.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Seriously, that's how we do it.
Get them.
So, moms and dads and other adults here, what I would offer to y'all is this. There were a lot of questions that I didn't get to, and I want to be respectful of your agenda. Any of you ever want to bring your child or children, or if you guys ever want to come back, for those of you who are coming up on college, or seniors in high school, and even the younger ones, My office is literally right out that door, 50 feet across the concrete. That building is my building. It is not my office. It is your office. It is the people of South, belongs to the people of South Carolina. Any of you ever want to come and get a question answered, if you want to, if you want your teachers or adult leadership, if you guys want to come up with a list of questions that I didn't get to answer today and email them to me, or if y'all want to do a Skype or a FaceTime, I have the equipment over there to do that. We can do kind of a class where I will do a conversation with you guys, and we can do satellites all over the state at the same time. If you're interested in knowing more about what I do and the services we provide, then I want to be able to give that to all of you. And so I want to offer that to the leadership in the back of the room. I want to thank you for being engaged. I was really impressed with what I saw when I walked in. You guys seem engaged, you seem active, you seem interested in your state and your community, and I would encourage you to continue to be the thermostat. Continue to effect change and change the culture of our state for the better. Because at the end of the day, you are my future and my children's future. And I want to see you be successful. Thank you for allowing me to come here and talk to you today, and I hope